go. Take two.
Let's go.
What is up, guys? It's your boy Sean Flac 2.0 coming at you a little live and direct.
Yeah,
Man, here we go. Who I got with me in the
par for the
studio?
course.
Right, par for the course. Who I got with me in the studio via satellite? I got Mr. Krinlee here on my left. I got Sensei Jon here.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say under because we don't want no Diddy in this motherfucker, but
Yeah, pause. Pausation. Anyway, we here. We here now.
right here we are.
We're doing it.
We back at it again.
Oh,
We took a little time off. You know what I mean? But we back. This dad's life stuff, man. You know, we got trips. We got family coming in. We got a bunch of stuff going on in our lives, but and with our wives. And so, you know, we got to make sure everybody in the household is happy. Make sure everything is a-okay and par for our course in order to be on this motherfucker tonight. So welcome to the Dad's Life Podcast. We having fun in here. We got some great topics for tonight. We're going to talk about definitely the breaking news with Trump getting almost getting his wig split. And
I'm sorry to
He
laugh.
almost-
I'm sorry to laugh.
hey,
I
it's
shouldn't
cool.
laugh.
It's cool because
Okay,
he
but-
did. He almost got his wig, his noggin knocked. You know. And then what was the other one, Sean? We got
We're talking about what's
Having a man in the house.
right. Right.
yeah, having a man in the house. So we gonna
Right.
get right into it, right?
Obviously, you got to do your shout out, Sensei, because we always got to give that one.
Oh.
We always got to get that one up.
Shout out to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who's the head of my life. Thank you for you brothers being here, and thank you for all you people out there being safe.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, let's just cut right into it. Sensei, what's in your cup, baby?
Oh, I got some wine tonight. I got the little red blend. You kind of can see it, but it's cool though. It's some wine up in here. Well, ain't no wine up in here no more. I ain't drink it all, y'all. It's just the last bit of it. I'm just finishing off before I open up another one.
Okay. Krinlee, sir, what you got in your cup, baby?
Good old fashioned Voodoo Ranger.
How many of those you
It's
had?
been a long day today. I've been at the beach all day.
That's a beautiful
Oh,
day. Man, you got to talk to us.
oh,
about beach
we
days.
didn't know about that.
Right, you out there living like.
Well, it's a lake beach.
Okay, even
Hey.
better though.
Still, yeah, even better.
Right.
What
let's
you
see.
got?
I got Chi Forest, sparkling water, the white peach. Something that the wife saw on Instagram, TikTok. She wanted to give it a try. It is quite delicious. So, non-sponsored, but go
sir.
ahead and check that out.
Check it out. Check it out. You can find it at Costco. Costco.
You know what, guys? I'm gonna tell you right now, listeners. We did have a little bit of folly, of course, on my part technically, but man, you know what? The way Sensei Jon done picked up the mic and just kind of did the
Yeah.
recovery, I love it. I love it. So thank you, Sensei Jon.
Yes, sir. We gonna make it do what it do, baby.
I wish I had
out
an
to,
iPhone so I could give you the 2 thumbs up and the fireworks
know.
and all that. Yeah.
Shout out to NjordGod for not being here. He's out,
Yeah.
you know, handling his business, doing his thing, doing his dad thing. We'll see him next week.
Yep.
So let's jump right back into it.
Man, let's
Wig
talk about-
splitting.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
He said wig splitting again. Man, I can't not
Yeah,
laugh at that.
you remember that?
I'm just saying, yes. I just can't not laugh at that. I shouldn't
Yeah.
laugh. Okay, Sensei.
Shouldn't, no, but yeah.
Sensei,
Yeah, technically he damn near got a wig up there, right?
yes, he does.
Yeah, about 110%.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we was talking about Trump and our first reaction. My first reaction was I seen it on social media, Instagram, and I thought it was fake because they just showed a picture. Once they showed the video, then I can see that it was an actual event. I got this Instagram feed that I follow is called Modern City, and sometimes they be having like some wild shit on there. So I was just like, I don't know. So I kept scrolling,
Hashtag fake news.
and all fake news, and I was just on on all the feeds, all the major all the major feeds. So I clicked off of there. Boom, I'm going to Chrome. I gotta go see if it's real. And I sent everybody the link, and Flac was like, I don't know, because it was from the UK, and I was like, yeah. And then I went to CNN, and I was like, oh, it's confirmed.
Right.
Then you start seeing videos of, and at first I thought he was giving us the old WWE fake slit the how they used to slit the head or whatever with the little razor, because he reached up real quick and just went like
Yeah.
and then the way the Secret Service
Yeah.
was kind of like a little lackadaisical.
Yeah. And I've talked
Um,
about that. Yeah, I was not.
yeah, and in my and I'm thinking, maybe I watched too many movies, but I would think they would have, a mile and a half, some type of radius of them being on roofs, having snipers and everything else. So yeah, man, Uncle Trump was like, ah, damn, that was hot. Whatever went by his ear or whatever.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but the snipers is the CIA, not the Secret Service. Just
Okay.
Okay. My initial reaction to it, because the first thing I saw, I got it in the feeds from Sensei Jon. I was like, "What is this?" And then I showed it to the wife because we were out and about driving, doing some errands today. And she was like, "How? That's hella fake, because if that was real, it would be blowing up all our phones." And like, as soon as she said that, bam, 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 I'm like, "Oh!" And it was like on her Cron alert, her Cron 4 alert, and she's, "Oh, I guess it's not fake." And I just was like, "Man." So first and foremost, let me preface the whole conversation with, I mean, if this is where we are in our country, it's a very sad and tragic time. Regardless of who it happened to or whatever. Yeah, it's so thoughts, prayers, universal energies, positive mana, whatever you want to, whoever you pray to, goes out to all the families, and the community itself that has been affected by this tragedy. In lieu of a first initial reaction, come to find out that the Secret Service did end up shooting the shooter. But there were also one confirmed loss of life, one of the spectators, and another spectator was transported to the hospital under critical condition. So, yeah, if this is where we're at, it's a very sad, sad situation here in the States. And I think we had talked about it earlier, but the last time this happened was in 1981 with Ronald Reagan. And I think Sensei had said it best. This is not, the JFK times. It's not, 40 years ago. Here we are in 2024, and this is something that should not be happening. Not here.
no.
So
Not here on our turf, on our soil. I'm not saying it should be
No.
happening anywhere else, but especially, but with everything going on in the world, everything, these mass shootings and everything, um, I'm not gonna say I'm almost not. I'm surprised it hasn't happened before.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And I say that with a heavy heart,
right,
about today. But and I'm not wishing that on nobody. Um, Prayers to the families that are affected in this situation. Um, and what we talked about before is almost going to give him like a sympathetic vote, in this situation. We got one president that's almost incapable of doing anything, and then here we are with the guy, the runner up, you know, almost getting shot, head blown off, wig split.
stop it, stop it. You can't keep saying that, Sensei. I'm gonna laugh every time.
The
Uh,
dome cracker, the wig splitter, all about my cheddar. You remember that?
yeah,
Square hating on the player, but I'm all about my cheddar.
oh man. So yeah. Yeah. I'm not a political analyst, but I mean, you're looking at the
Yeah.
photos and the videos, and it makes him look very patriotic. He got his fist up. He talking about fight.
Mm-hmm.
He got blood on his face. The flag waving in the background. I'm just like, if that doesn't bring something, and honestly, I think what's gonna happen with it is they're gonna figure out who the shooter is, and I think the fallout from that and all the information that's going to come out with that may also determine if he gets a sympathetic vote or not. You know what I'm
But
saying?
my worry is going to be, what does the media do with this? We've got so they already know. I'm pretty sure who the shooter is or was. I mean, I'm pretty sure they said he's dead.
Yep.
They just don't know any information about him, about them. Sorry. So my worry is like what kind of spin the media is going to put on it. Like what kind of prerogative this guy had. Like what agenda they were trying to push towards this whole thing.
Netflix series.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
yeah.
Unfortunately,
And I like
They're going to call it wig splitting.
Yeah, hey.
Come on, guys. You can't say that, man. You can't.
Oh man, they're
call
gonna be
the
wig
Netflix-
splitting.
They gonna call the Netflix
shit.
series wig splitting. Y'all fucked up. Y'all fucked up for that.
But I mean, really though, like,
Yeah.
so like that's kind of, they're gonna take the reactions like he was just saying about how Trump was acting, you know, the fist up, the flag behind him, and they're gonna add some kind of agenda to what this person had to shooting at Trump, whether he hit him or not, and who knows right now what kind of story this is gonna spin up.
You know what? This kind of reminds me. You guys ever see that Mark Wahlberg movie Shooter?
I did. I have.
Well, the plot in that was they took a pop shot at the president, and it ended up hitting like the African nation's president. And so they were just like saying that, and then they tried, they tried to blame Mark Wahlberg for being the shooter or whatever, and it wasn't. And it was just like, well, they weren't actually shooting for the president; they were actually shooting for the president of the African nation, and they were saying they could mask that by basically saying, well, he was just standing next to the president, and whoever was trying to shoot the president just missed and hit the African nation president. Interesting plot. Like I said, it just kind of reminded me like what other back end, maybe the Secret Service wasn't in on it with the CIA or something like that. That, again, yeah.
And they pushing it hard, right? So I just looked up the word shooter, and I clicked film and said film
Right.
shooter. The first thing up top is the whole shooting at Trump rally in Pennsylvania, and then it shows the filmography of overview of the film. That's it.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Oh, yeah, and again, not the the folks that did get hurt, not to make light of any of that, but just the conspiracy theories that kind of go around this. And again, touching back to what Krinlee said about what theatrics the media is going to play with the background of this individual. The one thing I wanted to point out was the reaction of the Secret Service. I felt that they're very lax. I felt that, and again, I'm not into security or anything like that, but if you saw the video, Trump grabs his ears, ducks behind the podium, and I want to say a bit too much time went by before the Secret Service really jumped on top of him. And then in my initial reaction, I kind of saw them, they stood him up. And then they kind of carted him away, and they were still trying to block him with their arms. And I just was like, well, shouldn't the Secret Service have kind of kept him down and used their body armor to protect them? And if somebody else was going to shoot at the president, versus standing him up and then carting him away. And I also felt like he was up on stage too long. So there was that, my initial reaction, and then after some more information came out, I guess by the time they stood him up, the Secret Service already confirmed that they killed the shooter. So there wasn't any imminent danger. So there was no, I don't know. And again, if I was the president and I'm in my hospital room and I'm re-looking at that video, my whole Secret Service team is fired. My whole detail is gone.
Gone. Give me the new guys.
Yeah, because you guys were not fast enough. I don't think they did everything they could. And again, this is my opinion. And maybe I watched too many Secret Service movies. You know, maybe Denzel and Clint Eastwood and all these other cats I watched, you know, as Secret Servicemen did it differently or whatever. But yeah, I felt if I was a president, I'd have been like, not all of you guys, y'all got to go. I was too I was too exposed for too long, too soon, and I wasn't carded. You know, we didn't have that access to my escape route soon enough.
That's enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they should, like you said before, they should have had that planned out before the event even happened.
Right. Right.
They should have already known, like, if anything goes down, this is what we're doing.
Right.
And it was like they had no idea.
Oh, I'm sure they're gonna be on they toes from now on.
Oh yeah.
Somebody will be. I doubt it'll be them.
And a lot of it's probably gonna be. You're gonna probably hold a lot more stuff indoors.
Right, where you have to go through security, to get lined.
And that's another thing. Like, how is a concert security better than something like that? Like, you can't even get a fancy camera into a concert. How do you get a gun into a rally for a presidential debate?
He wasn't in the rally. He was actually on the roof of a different business, on another roof.
Well, true.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And just like what you said, Sensei, earlier, you figured that any kind of line of sight should have been covered by the Secret Service. Any line of sight, no matter the distance. I mean, again, maybe I watched too many action movies, but accordingly, I saw Mark Wahlberg shoot a can of beans a mile away. So, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I watched too many movies, but
400 meters.
I'll say too that whoever took video, who was taking video of the president when he got shot, like, you could hear the shots. It was like toop 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 toop, and whatever. There was like 8 of them, 8 or 9, but you could hear them.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
So were they really on top of a building somewhere? I don't know. I wasn't there, but
yeah, that's what the when we were just listening to it before we came on, that's what they said.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
And more information is going to come out. More detailed information will come out. I'm sure. So
or whatever they want to make up is going to come out.
Right.
right.
You know.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part too. The crazy part is that's the mentality we have. What's the spin?
Yeah.
What's the what are they going to want us to know versus what really happened? And this is our country.
Yep.
You know.
But it's funny you say that because that's our mentality now. But think about back when Kennedy got shot. That wasn't our mentality then, but because of that is our mentality now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're the media and the social media and just everything within this past couple of decades have kind of like
right, and that's
desensitized us to everything. Because they've lied to us so much, and it's been proven time after time after time that they've been caught up in lies. So
and not that too. It's also the decimation or whatever.
Decimation.
Well, the distribution. Let me change my word up. Here we go. The distribution of misinformation. That's and also the internet. You know, again, that's why you have to believe half of what you see or half of what you see and what they say, none of what you hear or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But it's like
none of what you see and half of what you hear.
Yeah. Something like that. But yeah, it's just because there's so much information out there. How do you know which of it is real? Especially with AI coming out and
God.
Yeah. All these different things and you know, I mean, I could in itself Photoshop all of us in the same spot with my little bullshit ass skills, right? So who's to say, you know, AI, you know, can't do way more than that. So we always got to think about where we're getting our information from and how to sift through the misinformation of it all.
And some of these key sources can still be the spinners.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
CNN. Just because it's on CNN, don't make it always
Fox
right.
News. Yeah,
Associated Press, like all of that. NPR. Yeah. Okay, so that's breaking news.
Right.
We got any final thoughts on breaking news?
I hope hearts, prayers go out to those affected by what happened, and that's all I got to say.
Yeah, amen to that.
Yeah, I agree.
So, you guys as the listeners, what was your initial thought? What was your initial reaction? Where were you when you first got the news, and where do you think this is going to go in the future? So go ahead and leave those comments in this comment section below. Get at us. Where you at on this topic, and just let this be ahead of time. Certain comments will be deleted if it's radically political. We just want to know again.
Yeah, just answer the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not pulling for one side or the other. We just want everyone to be okay.
Answer the question. Don't go into no other detail. We don't want to hear nothing.
Right.
Answer the question as given.
Right. Okay. Okay.
All right.
So next on the list we have is men in the household, and it's a Dad's Life podcast, so this is, we're always going to go back to this. And there was something that came up in my feeds where there was a young lady. She was speaking in a microphone, so I don't know if she was on a show or whatever, but she was sharing an experience she had with her son. And her son told her, if you love me so much, why didn't you prepare me and show me how to survive the situations you were protecting me from? And she said that hit me so hard. And she said she couldn't. She couldn't. A mother's role in the household was to nurture and to shield their children, while she was saying a father's role is to expose and to teach how to survive. And she wasn't able to do that for her son. And that kind of hit me in the mouth, because I do honestly, truly believe that. And in my own experience, my wife would be like, oh, no, we're not going to do that. Like an example, prime example. My wife doesn't want our kids to like bike across busy streets, right? So we keep our kids biking, doing our little walks in the neighborhood, but we don't go to busy streets. Like that's not even a thought for her to do. And the wife took the baby boy to swim lessons, and I want to get out and do some walking. Swim lessons about a good 20-minute walk away, and it does make you cross 2-3 busy streets. So I put my baby girl on her bike, and I'm walking. And instead of saying, no, we're not going to do it because we got to cross busy streets, I'm like, no. When we get to the busy street, this is what you need to do. You need to look both ways, get away from the curve, hit the little button, get off your bike, walk your bike. As you're, making sure you always look left. It's for people that are turning right that can't see you because you're so little. And then, when you see somebody stop, you look at them in the eye, you wave at them, you walk across the street, you look at the people waiting at you, wave at them, get their eye contact, and you get across the street. Versus saying, no, we're not going to do that. I'm like, well, no, let's show her how to do that. That's my mentality. And so this lady had said that, kind of hit me in the mouth. And I brought that to the chat. I want to talk about that, like the importance of men in the household, or father figures in the household. So that's what kind of sparked that. What are your guys' thoughts on that little quote there, and then maybe share some experiences where you yourself have had to, expose your children to something you wanted to show them how to get through.
Well, all right, I'll go ahead. So, I want to start with, first of all, I mean, I get the idea, but personally, I feel like it's not necessarily just like a man's mentality. I get how, I guess, most families maybe might feel that way, depending on how the roles are, obviously. But, like, not every household's going to be the same. And
Right.
while, to me, I would agree. I would say, yeah, that sounds like something a man would say. It'd be like, yeah, this is, you're going to have to do this eventually. We might as well go ahead and figure this out now, instead of putting it off and putting it off. But there's, I personally don't think that's a man's thing. that is something that needs to be taught, especially to children. But growing up, they got to figure out, and they have to have someone show them. Yes, that this is the way it's done. This is we go. I understand you're not used to this, but eventually one day you're gonna have to ride your bike through here. So this is the way that it's done. But to be like a man has to. I just don't feel like that's a man's perspective, if that makes sense. I mean, I understand the father's role, but I don't know.
Do you have a son?
I do.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you believe that there's some things you can show him that his mother can't show him because of the experiences that you've had as a man? Because your wife has never been a man.
Well, that's true, but my wife could show my son how to treat a woman because she knows how a woman wants to be treated.
Okay.
I mean, for just that one example. So, like, other things.
But he learns his examples of how to treat a woman from you, right?
Yeah.
How you treat your wife.
How to treat people in general, yeah.
Right? Well,
so, okay.
Speaking about households, but go ahead.
But no, I mean, and I understand that, and that's an example from a household with a mother and a father. So from a household who just has a mother, or possibly two mothers.
That's true.
Right.
I feel like...
Our two fathers.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there's plenty of cases where it could be, but I feel like... I don't feel like even in the role where there's two females in the position, I don't feel like there's anything they couldn't teach that a father could.
So I think you're saying that you don't believe that genderfying that is, you don't agree with that. Like you basically say that that one parent could teach,
do all,
could do it all.
Well. Not 100%. I feel like it could help, but I don't think that it has to be that way.
Okay.
And the way I see it is, and I think Sensei had kind of brought out a good point about how let's say a mom can tell her son how he should treat a man, or he should treat a woman, right? So the mom is telling the son
either way
how to treat a woman.
Oh, right.
Right.
Either way.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. But I'm just as an example. I'm just kind of trying to copy the example that you had.
No, yeah.
But words and actions, I feel, are two different things. Now, let's say in a situation, let's say the dad is a piece and he's beating the mom, right? She could tell the son, right? She deserves better, and she shouldn't be treated a certain way. But I mean, just through action alone, if he sees this is what his dad is doing, he's gonna think that that's okay.
9 times
not
out of 10,
necessarily
doing it too.
But but it depends, because they could also see the effect that it has on their mother, and so.
And I get what you're saying. Like, it's not 100%, because I guess
right.
it's going to determine how that kid is going to grow up eventually, and they have their own experiences. But I also believe, like you said, there's not, and then I could die on this rock. You know what I'm saying? But there's going to be a male figure that could teach a son more about being a man than a woman can.
And I'll say this too, like, to add to that, like, if a man treats her like that, and she takes it, and she continues to take it forever, then Yeah, exactly. But if she becomes better than that, takes the kid out of that situation, then it could be better for the kid. But yes,
But yeah, I
I
mean,
feel like yeah,
and like I said, my thing is just about the mentality. Um, I don't think that women could teach boys how to be men. I think that's the bottom line, regardless.
I
yeah,
agree.
And I don't think me personally, as far as like dads and daughters, right? So if we were to sit here and play the same devil's advocate on that way, right?
Advocate. Yes.
Um, you know, I feel that if the mom shows the daughter that it's a certain way to treat their spouse or whoever it is, that they're gonna expect, like, so mom's a gold digger and all she does is go for money, and that's all that the daughter sees, then that's all the daughter's gonna know how to act. Is like, I need to make sure this person has money and blah 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 blah. And I think it's like more monkey see monkey do, and um, versus anything else. But I think, and again, this is my experience. I'm a Filipino Chamorro. My dad came from the Philippines, so I don't know if I'm considered first generation or second generation. I lived in East Oakland, grew up in East Oakland, um, and
You was born here?
who?
You say you was born here?
Yeah, no, I was born in Hawaii. Yes, I can show
Oh,
you
okay. So
I can show
yeah.
you my birth certificate. Just in case
So you like
you might want to ask,
okay.
Sean, are you a
Like
citizen?
Barack
Right,
like Barack Obama.
right.
So you first generation.
Okay, so yes, I'm first generation, and I grew up in the hood. I grew up where there were situations that I had to come across where my dad had to pull a pistol on somebody. Now,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying. Somebody done stole my bike, hit me in the face, stole my bike, and my dad, went to go grab his gun and started, searching the neighborhood for this kid. You know, um, you know, there's just situations that, or I've been robbed. I've been robbed at gunpoint. I've been in situations where I've been in stores and they've been robbed. Right. I mean, there's certain situations that we're gonna be in as just little boys or men or whatever. I've been with friends that do dumbass shit, and for some reason we make it through because of the head I got on my shoulder. Because my
Hmm.
dad took his time to be like, "Hey, you gonna be doing some dumb shit out there, or you gonna come across some people that's doing dumb shit, and this is how you need to handle the situation so you could get home." And I think again, I think the mother's nurturing, shielding, natural response is to be like, well, why put yourself in that situation? Versus saying, well, I'm gonna be in that situation. I'm young, I'm stupid. I got friends that are either young and stupid, and we're just gonna be out. And I just need to know, what do I do? Like, what do you do when you get stopped by the police? Have you had to have that discussion? Would you ever, think that your life would be in danger because you was in a car with somebody else that, you know, potentially could be doing wrong and the police could be coming after them? So there's certain situations that young men, I guess depending on where you live in the states, um, may come across as going to be more life or death than not in other states, in other areas. And I think that's where my mentality comes from, is that where I'm from, walking the streets ain't a stroll in the park.
Ain't safe. Right.
It's not a stroll in the park. They could be just going to the store. They could just be going, to the park, hanging out with their partners, and that's why I don't live there no more,
Right.
because it's not safe. But I had to teach my older son and talk to him about not being a knucklehead. And yes, you're gonna have knucklehead friends, and you need to make sure this is how you handle yourself. I do that to this day, and I think that's more of a mentality of somebody that's either experienced that, is known that, hey, you're gonna come across certain situations, and this is how you need to deal with that. Versus saying, you know what, son, just stay home, stay in your room, play video games all night.
Right.
You know,
But
so
on that note, it's kind of funny. Like I actually had this talk with my daughter like a week ago because she's getting ready to go into the fourth grade. But I told her, I was like, when you go back, if any of your friends are talking about talk to her I said that stupid shit. I said that is okay.
So fourth
Do a
grade.
spin on that
Yeah.
thing.
So
Fourth.
I told my daughter, I was like, look, just because you hear people talking about Hawk Tua and this and all that, I was like, you don't need to be copying them. You don't need to be saying that. You don't need no part of that. That's stupid.
That's good.
Right.
You know what? I'm
And
gonna have to have
it
a
was like
talk
as
with my
soon as I
daughter.
saw it was like popular, I was like, I knew. I was like, I know. As soon as she gets back at school, that's all the kids are going to be talking about.
Right. And you got to think about that. That's a fourth grader. You
Yeah,
just said.
yeah,
And you as
Yeah.
your dad, you as a dad is like, I can't protect her from that. She's gonna be exposed to it, so I need to
oh
teach
yeah,
her how to handle it when she does. And that's
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
prime example of what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah, it was
As a
like back
dad,
when she was in
as a
like
man.
second grade. The popular thing was like, "Oh yeah," that was like the
Yeah.
thing that all the kids were doing, and the teachers were like, "It's out of hand." But fortunately, my daughter was like, she wasn't having a part of it.
Right.
But
Right.
so I went ahead and told her, I was like, "That is not appropriate. You don't need to
It's
be
off limits.
participating in
Right.
that."
Right. Yeah, and
That's
that's what I
good. See, there
yeah,
you go. That's a perfect example.
right.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
And because you are a dad and you are a leader in the household, you know what I mean, in your household, you are a I would say like a dominant force in her life
yeah,
as a male. She may take it differently from you saying it rather than her mom saying it
right,
because she know you probably don't play when it comes, you just said that's unacceptable. I'm
right.
pretty sure she's heard it before with other things and she's listened.
Right.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
fortunately, maybe not yet, but she will have soon enough.
exactly. I
We
know
keep
what you
her
mean.
pretty locked up, but yeah,
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
yeah,
And yeah, I mean, like I said, just stuff like that. And, just your natural reaction is to be like, okay, you're gonna come across it. This is how you deal with it. And of course, age
yeah,
appropriate, right? I'm not gonna talk to my kids about what to do if they get, they in a car with a bunch of friends and somebody hits the gas. When the police get behind them, they hit them.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
then they hit the gas on the police. I'm not gonna talk to my little, going to the first grade girl about that.
No.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man,
right.
yeah, I just,
Teenager for sure.
yeah, you know what I'm, and
That's
that,
why I was man, yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, it's just, and that's what I meant by
Yeah.
that. I think that's where when that lady had talked about that, and you're right, it is situational. It's not 110%. It's not, it's not always going to
Right.
be male, female, gender identified or whatever. But I mean, somebody in the household has to be that. Look, the world is out there, and you
Yeah,
need to
Right.
know how to defend yourself against it. And
100%.
I think that if, as parents, we don't do that for our children, we fundamentally have hindered our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know,
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
yeah,
I hear you. Prime example of me growing up, my mom used to so my mom was always big about the police, especially, me being a young African American guy, and just being uh in the car or wherever I'm at. It was always when you answer the and it's crazy because it always think when you answering the police is yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, always.
right,
Cause she used to be like they'll take you out and fuck you up. You know what I mean? Out the car or wherever, and and it just stuck with me. And then my dad, him being who he is, real calm, cool, collected. Not too many man of not too many words unless it's necessary. He would explain to me in a situation. We would go over situational stuff, especially when I started driving. Mainly when I started driving.
right,
Um, um, uh, about what to expect out there. You know what I mean? My driving style versus uh, how I need to be driving. Back then, seat back. You
lean
know what I
back,
mean? We
right,
lean back.
right,
You
yeah,
know
yeah.
what I mean?
One hand on a wheel,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
like this, yeah,
My mom would, but my dad, he used to get on my ass for that. Okay. Another thing was my mom used to talk about drugs. It used to be explained to me about drugs and shit. You know what I mean? And how it affects you as a person and you as a not only a black man, even being around it, somebody smoking it around you, even though you ain't doing nothing or anything. If they smell it on you, you getting pulled over. I don't care, or when you get pulled over. If anything happened, they pulling you out the car and all the shit. So like, as growing up for me, I had good examples in my mom and my dad, especially like how a man is supposed to treat his wife, and I want to say how he takes care of his household by like fixing things. Like my dad used to teach me how to fix on cars. Like I would have never learned that from my mom because she didn't do it. How to do things.
I got like 5 seconds.
Learning how to cut the lawn and everything else, and he would teach me those little things. My grandfather, teaching me how to fish. If I need to go, if I ever, just want to go clear my mind, how to fish off a bank, how to fish off a boat, how to bait my hook, how to weight the hook, so it won't fall off. Different places we go as with my grandfather traveling up through the Calistoga mountains, going to through Calistoga going to Clear Lake, knowing how to find the spout that has natural spring water. My grandfather and my dad taught me that, so I always know like little things of California, or just things that I can show my kids, right. As a parent for my son. Me really talking to him at a young age about who he is. He has a darker complexion than I have. So me talking to him and knowing that it's a little different for him. I don't know everything that goes on with being his skin color, but I can tell you some examples of police being a little bit more different with you here in California. I don't know how it is around any other country. I just know California, and because I've seen it before with my other friends, and they were a darker complexion, and they got hemmed up in things. I've gotten my car, brand new car that I bought, searched. I'm like, ain't nothing in here. You know what I mean? Because they thought that my Cadillac was the Cadillac that was in a robbery. And I'm sitting here driving next to a gold Cadillac, DTS. I'm in the CTS. I'm like, there go the culprits right there, but you're going to pull me over. Right. You know what I mean? Because you couldn't see in their windows. You could see in mine. They seen who I was. I had my locks, everything. So me explaining to him just about his demeanor and, when it comes to going places or being around certain people. And how are you supposed to act in certain situations? And I ain't been always the greatest example. I ain't gonna lie, because I fly off of 0 to 100 in a second, over some stuff. And that was me being young. And I ain't gonna say it's all young because I done did it as an adult too. And in front of my kids now. So, but what's great is I can always go back to explain to them and apologize to them and let them know that I was wrong in that situation. And I think that's a big key in our society now that I'm seeing a lot more of from, certain type of diasporas of dads now. Dads like who we are. We ain't afraid to tell our kids, hey, man, I fucked up. I'm sorry. This is what happened. This is how the situation went. I should have handled it like this. I didn't. I can be better next time. And so you teach them those type of things as a male. They'll always have empathy. They'll always have respect. You know what I mean? For others. And you're teaching them how to basically get along with anybody and everybody. That's where I'm at. I'm I know I can, I want to say blend into any type of crowd, but I'm more so of a person who has many different. I can wear many different hats,
Right, I think.
and that's
Oh no,
right.
just real quick, just to throw this in there. I think the word you were looking for was communicate. It's like you're in this, like you're teaching your kids like how to
Yes,
communicate, and because you were saying to get along, but really to honestly, truly how to communicate. That,
communicate.
yeah, and
Correct.
and I
Yeah.
think also what you mean by that too is also being able to read the room and knowing
Read the
that,
room.
yeah, you know what, hey, it's professionals in here, so I'm gonna be a
Right.
professional.
Right.
Okay,
Exactly.
it's mixed company in here, so I'm gonna be casual, but I'm not gonna wild out. And then I'm, on the game with the homies, and I'm cussing out every
Right.
13-year-old that's up in this
Right.
lobby. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
yeah. So I mean, when we,
Nah, I feel you.
yeah, and I think just to add to
Having
that, yeah,
right, having a man in the household and us as fathers and as men is very important to our children's well-being, I believe, because in order to teach a child togetherness, there has to be some type of togetherness in the household. I would have never learned that had not my dad came along, me, right? Because it was just me and my mom up until I was 3 years old, and so um, yeah,
yeah,
whether it be your biological dad, stepdad, when a kid, we train the kid only can, so they'll reciprocate the, if they see greatness, they'll reciprocate the greatness later on in their life. I was raised in the church. That's always been my foundation. That's always something I'm gonna go back to. That's my roots.
right.
Is my Lord. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, I just feel like yes, I, I I I can teach my daughter things, but there's a lot of things I can't teach her about being a woman. As my with my my sons, I can teach them about being a man, and especially being a black man in this society.
Yep. So, just kind of like going in on this and kind of summarize everything because we're getting close to the end of our episode here. I definitely want to throw out there the simple fact that, first of all the dads that's doing it out there, um, you're not alone. Like if you feel like you're alone, you feel like what you're doing out there is not worth anything. Like you got to understand that what you do in the household gets mirrored by especially the kids, especially the son. So your worth in the household. Again, we always go back to this. There's so many different episodes we have talking about the worth of being a good father, about being a good dad, being in the household, or being in your child's life. So let's say you're not in the household because of whatever is going on. But it still shouldn't stop you from like, is the time you have with your kids worth it? Are they getting something from
Right.
you? And I think like for me, my daughter, I'm gonna teach my daughter how to cut somebody. You know what I'm saying? I can't teach her how to be a woman, but I'm gonna teach
Right.
her how she could cut somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the value I'm gonna bring to my daughter. My son, again, how to be a man, how to treat his mom. How do I treat the other lady? How I feel he should treat other people. I'm gonna show that same respect, just like what Sensei said about the communication piece, right? Teaching your kids that hey, it's okay. Nobody's perfect. We're looking for progress, right? Not perfection. So yes, emotions may run high. We may have emotional outbursts here and there, but we could also go back as men, as just educated individuals or individuals that want to build on our communication skills with our children, and again show them that yes, I do make mistakes and I am sorry, but I could have done this, and this better, and I'm gonna do better. Um,
That's the
yeah,
key.
yeah,
I'm gonna do better because
And,
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you.
right.
and I want to say thank you to both of you guys because both of you have a different approach to being a father than I do. Because obviously, like Sensei said, he appreciates his father, like, and for showing him how to be a father and an African American father. Because obviously it's not the same for me being a father as it is for him being a father raising kids. I mean, it should be, but unfortunately, it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that's the beauty of it is we can
Right.
share each other's perspectives, and
Mhm.
Yes.
I
Thank you.
listen to not respond but to learn. Like I want to
Yes.
hear your perspective because I want to learn from you guys because I know I'm not perfect. I know I have so many faults, but and I think all of us know that. But I think
Mhm.
when you work with a group of folks like you guys, we're here. We're each other's cheerleaders. We know you
Yeah.
fucked up, but it's good. We still here. We live to fight another day. Don't do
Yep.
that shit. Whatever the fuck that was, don't do that again.
Mhm.
And we here to hold as men hold each other accountable.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and we need that, and we need that affirmation as well. That you're
Mhm.
worth it and you're doing a good job.
Exactly.
So again, to the listeners out there, again, this is Dad's Life Podcast. We don't always circle back down to this, and there'll be certain things that pop up in the feeds that really solidify this, and we're gonna come back to it again. And again, so if you guys are out there, dads go out there and maybe share some experiences in the comments below about how you yourself are an example, or potentially maybe what you learned, you know, that has known one of the smallest things that's trickled down to your kids. Are they saying the thank you? Hey, Dad, thank you. Like, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot going
Yeah.
on with just being a parent, but just being a dad and trying to be masculine, but not be over emasculating. And
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's always that. Oh, you being too hard. And I don't know, man. This gentle parenting bullshit is just not working for these kids. And
No, it's not.
yeah, some of them need their ass whooped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't say beat them. I
Yeah.
just said you give them a good
Yeah.
pop on the ass.
I like how Njord's mom used to do it. She tell you how many whoopings you about to get.
Yeah.
I never heard of that
Shout out to
before.
Mama Njord, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
Give two shout outs because she's
Right.
been going through a rough year.
Right, and the horn.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so that basically
Yeah.
wraps up our main topics for today. So just kind of overview the episode. We talked about Uncle Trump getting his wig split.
That
I can't
wig
even
is-
say it without. I can't even say it without laughing. So
Oh
as
man.
more details.
Good
come on
job. Good
out,
job.
As more details is coming.
Well, that's going on the title.
Yeah, right. Wig splitting. Oh my god. Oh my
Wig
god.
splitting Trump.
Okay. So like I said, as more details come up, we'll probably talk about that and kind of talk about some of the fallout and some episodes as we kind of continue with our dad's life topics as well. We talked about men in the household, the importance of, or at least the men in your child's life. It's worth it. They need it. So you need it. You need to see.
Yes.
If you don't
Progression.
right, if you don't like feel you've accomplished anything, man. Like, just watch your kids. Like, I know I'm never going. I know. No, here's the thing. I'm never going to be a
That's
millionaire.
real.
I'll be 100%. I'll never be a millionaire. I'll never see materialistic items to say that I made it. But I could watch my kids progress from them being little and naive and ignorant to learning and progressing and becoming individuals that I'm not going to say they're perfect because nobody's perfect. I don't expect my kids to be perfect. But take heed in that achievement in itself.
Yeah. I see that in your Facebook. Like whenever you post about your kids, like the shit that they do, it's awesome.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I, you know what, and I'm not trying to be self, battering or whatever they call it, but I know I ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? I know I just do what I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I stay in my lane, but my kids, my kids gonna be the shit.
Yeah. That's real. I feel you.
All right.
But it just gets better as each generation, I feel.
Yes.
As long as we set them up.
Right.
We better than our
Yep.
parents.
Right.
Our kids are going to be better than us.
Right. Okay, that's all I got for this episode of the Dad's Life Podcast. Want to do a quick shout out to shadowpackwest.com. You head out there, get all of our contact information, but you're also going to see that good old Patreon button there. Because what's going to happen next, we are going to be doing our Patreon after a dark special episode. So if you want to get a little access to that on this episode, we're going to be talking about Santa, no Santa. We're going to talk about Christmas in the middle of July. Also going to be answering a question about what famous Christmas song came out during the summertime? We'll talk about that as well. But go ahead and head over to patreon.com/ShadowPackGaming. That's a direct link to our Patreon page, or go to shadowpackwest.com. Hit the Patreon button on the splash page. There you can start your patronage as little as $1 a month. You get all of our episodes here, obviously free, but you get all those bonus episodes for every recording that we've ever done during the life of this podcast.
Sure.
That's all I got. So I want to say thank you for listening to this episode of the Dad's Life Podcast, and we hope that you tune in to the next episode of the Dad's Life Podcast, where you can get your
Dad Life. Dad
Vibes.
Advice.
All right.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
this
get it one
month.
day.
Split wigs.
Yeah.